Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I've forgotten my funny one that I was going to say.
Count of Monte Cristo.
The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas.
I always used to say it was Middlemarch because that made me seem clever. Now I think if I was more honest, I'd say Pride and Prejudice.
Hi.
You don't put them in. You can just hold it up.
Hi. You know what they say before you get interviewed, don't eat chocolate because then you get claggy mouth. Hi all, Grace here. First of all, thank you, Lydia, so much for the question. Now, listen, when someone asks you the question, what's your favourite book, you might be tempted to sort of put on some airs and graces, you know, put on a bit of a fake front. But not me. I'm going to answer really honestly, okay? My favourite book is Dolly Alderton, Everything I Know About Love. The reason I like it, not that you asked, because it's a memoir, first of all, of Dolly Alderton. She's 25 in it, and she's making her way through London. You know, she's navigating the early stages of her career, relationships, and most of all, friendships. I won't spoil it, but there is a twist at the end.
My favourite book is The Lady and the Unicorn by Tracy Chevalier. I love it because it's written from multiple perspectives. It's historical fiction, which I love. And it's a beautiful blend of rich and poor and just gorgeous human stories.
Hi, Lyd. My favourite book is A Little Life. Yeah. I thought it was beautifully written. I thought that her ability and her empathy to be able to portray characters that have lived a life different to her own was nothing short of amazing. And I thought it must have taken lots of studying and lots of thought. And I loved the characters. I was obsessed with the characters and I miss them every day.
Yeah, I've got to do my very important interview. It's really hard to say my favourite book. Possibly either King Solomon's Mines or She. I like both those books. And they're very sort of colonial, and it's kind of iffy from that perspective. But they're very much of their time. But they're also like one of the first, or they're like almost the prototype of that kind of adventure story, that kind of world building. And very naive in their writing, lots of ways.
All right there. It's really, really difficult because I've got lots of favourite books. So I started by thinking, what's my real favourite author? And I think it's George Eliot. The one I'm going to go for is The Mill on the Floss. I absolutely loved it, and I just always remembered a particular quotation in it. Something like, things that we love today are things that are somewhere in our past that we always remember.
My favourite book was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had the full series of it when I was growing up, and it's probably one of the only books I've read multiple times.
And a Libra Mercury. My whole chart is Libra Sagittarius. My favourite book is a play. It is Richard III by William Shakespeare. It makes me laugh, and every time I read it, I make a new discovery, and it's one of those that I love to hear aloud as well. There's always something different that comes out of it.
We both have matching t-shirts on today.
Yeah, look!
Is that interesting for the vlog?
Content galore. I think one that sticks in my mind is The Island by Victoria Hislop. And I've actually been to Crete, and it's based on an island off of Crete, which was the last leper colony ever. So I love things that have got a bit of a true story link behind it, and it's really moving and emotional and, yeah, really good.
My favourite book will probably have to be The Compound Effect. And it's about how little incremental changes you can make to your day-to-day life that build up to have big impacts and build good habits.
My favourite book ever is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. I think I could still read it now and get the similar enjoyment out of it that I got when I was a kid. It's a classic.
My favourite book is The Secret because I love Law of Attraction.
Catcher in the Rye, which I read when I was 16, I think. 15 or 16 was the first sort of proper grown-up book. There was something about it that sort of captured my imagination.
A Little Life. I missed the characters when I stopped reading it. I felt like I wanted to go back to New York and hang out with the boys. And it's so sad, and I just felt for them.
I Want to Die, but I Want to Eat tteokbokki. That was so disappointing. Beautiful cover. So, I was so ready for it to be amazing. It sucked.
Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I hate that book with a passion.
Have you read it?
Yes, some certain person brought it home. It gaslighted me. It made me stay in my marriage way more years than I should have.
The Christmas Carol. Can't stand it.
My least favourite, probably Harry Potter. I didn't like them. I found that I don't like fantastical stuff.
My least favourite book, controversially, is the Bible.
Don't really have a least favourite, but the one that I least enjoyed reading would be Of Mice and Men. Because I was young when I read it, it didn't enthrall me.
My least favourite book is Of Mice and Men. The worst example of a Steinbeck book. It's like cardboard cutout cartoon characters, which I don't mean to offend any of the anime kids out there.
I find it difficult to say this because I think it's absolutely, totally brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I really struggled to read it, and that is Ulysses, James Joyce. It was something I had to study when I was doing my English degree, and I just found it so hard to get through it. I would say it was my least favourite experience with a book, rather than being my least favourite book.
Of Mice and Men, hated it. Lenny dies, terrible.
The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I think it's brilliant in so many ways, but I just find it too long. All beautiful, but in the end that took away from the story for me, and then I get cross. And if I get cross, I don't like it.
50 Shades of Grey. Complete tat. I read it because everyone was talking about it and it's complete rubbish.
Farewell to Arms. It was completely over-analysed by the teacher, and I fell out of love with Hemingway.
Hi, my second least favourite book, joint second first, is Death of a Salesman, because I thought it was maybe fine if you weren't teaching it to 15-year-olds, because I couldn't think of anything less engaging and interesting for a group of 15-year-olds to read.
I hate a lot of books, I just can't pick one. Catherine Ryan, the comedian, her autobiography, it's just terrible.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
And good night.
The end.